Throughout history, different events have occurred that have left us with questions. Interestingly, in some of these cases, no matter how hard we try to find an explanation, most of the time it's impossible to get one. So today, we take a look at these 3 mysterious historical photographs. The story of Sister Josephine Rosenthal. Over the years, various stories have been told, some of which are hard to believe. The convents and monasteries have been the perfect setting for amazing stories that have been passed on from generation to generation. For example, the stories of tunnels that connected the nuns with the priests. But the story of Sister Josephine has been one of the strangest things that have ever happened in a convent. In the year 1742, in the Hohenwart monastery, located in Germany, one of the sisters, Josephine, was declared pregnant. A pregnant nun wasn't going to go down well with those that she was surrounded by. Interestingly though, after this news, she was told to have had a variety of tests. These tests declared that she was in fact a virgin. The impressive story spread until it reached the religious leaders' ears. When she was 6 months pregnant, she was taken to the council of Benedict XIV, where again she was examined. After the various tests, it was concluded that Josephine had been part of the Immaculate Conception. As this was a divine and sacred act, it was soon decided that she would be moved to a chapel where she could be worshipped. It was a favourable time for the monastery, which was founded in 1074. Josephine had been born in a convent of nuns and had lived a legitimate life, with the religious leader being her only contact with men. After 8 months of pregnancy, Josephine gave birth to a baby girl. Unfortunately, due to great blood loss, Josephine did not manage to stay alive. The little girl carried the name Mary, and she was well received by all the nuns of the convent. However, the Council of Benedict XIV wasn't pleased, as they were hoping for a boy so they could use him as the new Messiah. In spite of this, many began to adore little Mary. As she grew up, she began to write about the mistreatment of women in the institution. These were very well received by the people. As more time passed, however, the Catholic Church feared the rise of the new Mary, who could become the head of the church. At the age of 33, Mary fell ill and her symptoms became worse over time. Eventually, this illness would take her life. Her death was seen as a religious event, as she passed away at the same age as Jesus. The nuns and faithful companions of Mary took it upon themselves to embalm her body. While in this process, they realised that Mary was actually pregnant, and that the baby had passed away some time ago. This was thought to have been the cause of Mary's death. The secret was kept, and her remains were passed on from generation to generation until only the skull was left, along with a rosary in a wooden box. This is next to a vial which contains some of her blood inside a glass container. A lock of her hair can be found inside a gold box, as well as a fragment of her second text for women. Because of the fame she had, her remains were analysed in 1950. Following the analysis, researchers were able to find a unique hormonal imbalance. Both Mary and her mother Josephine were hermaphrodites, which means that they were capable of fertilising themselves and giving birth, an extremely rare condition that can be fatal. It's been said that Mary's body was decapitated by fanatical clergymen who believed her pregnancy was a demonic work and not sacred. They went on to say that keeping her remains around would only bring evil into the world, and by carrying out this act, it would rid the world of these evil beings. Some have said, though, it shows how far science has come, and that things that seemed magical back then can now be explained using science. The 1916 Traub motorbike still works. Researchers were shocked when they discovered that an old 1916 motorcycle still worked. According to studies, the motorcycle was built in a way which was uncommon back in those days. It had a unique mechanism. The pistons are handmade, and it has cast iron rings, making it known that the mechanisms and engineering used for the construction were advanced for its time. The investigation began in 1967, when a plumber was doing some repairs on a building outside of Chicago in the United States. He knocked down one of the walls and was greeted with a mystery. This was in the form of an old-looking motorcycle. The bike had the name Traub written on it. The owner of the building, who was already an old man, said that his son used to ride it before going off to fight in the First World War, and said that he ultimately never returned. Interestingly, one mystery is that it wasn't known where the motorcycle came from. As of today, there are numerous theories that have been put forward. Currently, the bike is on display at the famous Wheels Through Time Museum located in Maggie Valley in North Carolina. For many, the Traub motorcycle is considered the rarest motorcycle in the world. It's only had 3 owners and has been on display at the museum since 1990. This is according to Dale Walksler, the curator of the museum. He has talked on several occasions about how well maintained the motorcycle is and about its magnificent construction. The Traub has many features which were handmade. It has 3 speed transmissions and a rear brake. As of right now, there's more study to be done in regards to this fascinating piece of history. The storm cloud that appears in Australia every afternoon. The morning glory cloud is a weather phenomenon that is usually observed in the southern Gulf of Australia. Few know where this strange phenomenon comes from, but no one misses it when it happens. It's no mystery that Australia has been the site of several weather events, but this particular one has been one of the most frequent and notorious since it was first seen on board a plane in the Second World War. Many cloud hunters have dedicated their lives to deciphering where this fantastic event comes from, but none have been effective. It's believed to have a lot to do with the mesoscale circulations associated with the sea breeze and the very high pressures in the north of the country. The morning glory phenomenon has been observed in various parts of the world, but only in Australia has it been observed frequently and somewhat predictably. This manifestation makes the clouds in the sky look like big cylinders that travel long distances. They can have a length of more than 1,000 kilometers and a height of 1 kilometer. They're not very high up either, being only 100 or 200 meters above the ground. These long and extensive clouds can move at a speed of up to 10 or 20 meters per second, and their manner of appearance can vary because they sometimes come along or are accompanied by groups of up to 10 clouds. Inhabitants have confirmed that these formations become more frequent when there's a certain level of humidity in the area. One thing that researchers have said is that Australia is known for its impressive cloud formations. Staying on the subject of mysterious phenomena, a while back, mysterious photographs made the rounds on social media. This was when residents of Rockwall, near Texas, noticed a strange beam of light that appeared to be on the horizon. What was odd is that this giant beam of light illuminated the stormy dark sky to the east on the 6th of April 2018. There were many explanations put forward as to why people saw the strange sky phenomenon. The official version for the beam of light was shining through a hole in the clouds. However, if this was the case, then the beam of light should have been spread to the horizon, and it didn't, according to the witness. A photo of the mysterious light was shown on Facebook, and the photo had been taken through the windshield of a car. Some people suggested that the light was a shadow on the windshield on the vehicle, but this couldn't have been, as the beam of light is seen in the background with other vehicles in between it. Scientists have come forward with a possible explanation, suggesting that it could be an anti-solar ray. These rays are parallel shafts of sunlight from holes in the clouds, and their apparently odd directions are a perspective effect. So what do you make of these interesting photographs? Be sure to let us know your thoughts in the comment section below, and help us by growing this community whilst working to solve these unexplained mysteries. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to subscribe for more videos.